fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
Greetings world. We are Anon DK. As we have discussed the Reagan assassination attempt that took place on the sidewalk in front of the Washington Hilton Hotel in 1981, let us look deeper and find out what led to this event. Why was there an assassination attempt on Reagan? And why was Randall involved? Let us look further into Randall's past and see who is in the elite ring he was sold into. Randall was sold to Jon Voight's ex-wife Marceline Bertrand, and Bill Day along with a women whose parents owned the house named Cheryl Curran, the daughter of Jack and Irene Curran. Cheryl Curran was the one who drugged Randall the first day and named his alternate Anton. Marceline Bertrand is Angelina Jolie's mother. Angelina was the little girl and Randall was to be her servant and security. Jon Voight, Angelina Jolie's father, is the one who supplied the mind control drug to Bill Day and Marceline to drug Randall and keep him that way for the programming. Randall was in this elite circle, though his relationship with Jon Voight and Marceline Bertrand, as many of you already know, the elite control Hollywood, and MKUltra slave actresses and actors are used as presidential models, sex slaves, or in Reagan's case, programmed actor used for presidency. The elite hang in their controlled and selective circles. Marilyn Monroe, an MK sex slave actress, was used for JFK, just as Christina Aguilera is an MK sex slave for Hillary Clinton. During the time Randall was staying with Marceline, they used him for sex with older women, Laura and Barbara Bush, Gloria Vanderbilt, Barbara Walters and Joan Rivers are just a few of the many older women named at his court trial. Though he tried to refuse the mind control drug used on him made his efforts futile. Many of these women were married to high-profile celebrities. High-profile marriages and relationships are not like yours and mine. These people have all been raped and abused their entire lives and have sold their souls to Lucifer, who they serve. These people get married and have children, so the public, you never look deeper. Look into their lives and you will find the men are gay and the women are masochists. Hollywood is a tool for the elite to spread their agendas. Transsexual, transhuman. They are consumed by greed and negativity. They feed off pain and fear and try to cause all they can. They keep the reality hidden from you. Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman were gay partners, as were Jack Nicholson and Dennis Hopper, James Dean, Marlon Brando, Tony Curtis, and the list goes on. Jon Voight has been with his bodyguard since the 80s. During this time, Bill Gates' family owned a summer house down the street from where Randall Turner stayed when he lived in Lake Forest Park's Sheridan Beach community in Washington State. The house next door to where Randall was staying is where he first met Bill Gates while they were working on the new computer software program now known as Windows with Paul Allen and Steve Ballmer. Bill Gates' father was also involved with this group of elitists Randall had been sold into. Though Randall has a bad view of Bill Gates because of what was done to him later in life, he does recall Bill and Paul were also framed for sex crimes that were committed while they were drugged by this group of celebrities that also drugged Warren Buffett, making a video they used to extort money from him. Warren Buffett had hired Bill Day to get even with Jon Voight for ripping him off for $1 million in a business deal, but Bill Day ended up double-crossing Buffett and using Randall as part of their scam. Warren Buffett was making money through drug sales and prostitution rings, and Randall was given a job to make money, delivering packages and picking up money. One day Randall delivered a package to Bill Gates' sister Christy, who asked if Randall knew what was inside the package. He told her he was not supposed to open them, and she opened it and gave him a line of cocaine. This woke him from the mind control drug, and he confronted Bill Gates about using kids for sex parties and having Randall deliver drugs. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were involved in laundering the drug and sex ring money for the CIA, which Bill Gates worked for and had Randall doing deliveries since he was 15. Randall ended up being framed for sex crimes he did not commit after trying to stop Bill Gates from using the kids for sex parties. Bill Gates used Angelina to play the victim, telling her if she did not do it they would all get in big trouble. Randall does not think Angelina is to blame, as she was only a child used by an evil man trying to cover his crimes and frame Randall. It was later discovered Randall was innocent of the crimes Bill Gates framed him for. By using the children, Randall risked his life to protecting that it was actually part of a scam used to bribe Warren Buffett out of millions. Randall first met Reagan at Reagan's home with Marceline and John. He was there to watch over Angelina during a poll party, waiting for the voting polls to come in. Randall also met Bush Jr. and Jeb Bush at this party. Bush Sr. and Reagan were both part of the sex ring Randall was sold into. Bill Gates made a deal to give 25% of Microsoft to Randall for $375,000 and to use a favor in the White House. That favor was for Randall to talk to his handlers to get the U.S.-China trade agreement changed to allow Microsoft to manufacture in China. Randall's alternate personality was used to make this deal with George Bush Sr. Randall took the request of the China deal to Bush, who rejected it. However, Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger overheard the request and discussed it with Bush. Weinberger convinced Bush, saying if they changed the agreement they could sell old stock military arms to China as well. Bush took the request to Reagan, who rejected it. Randall recalls Bush saying they have a problem with Reagan and he needed to speak with Bill Casey. Randall stood outside the door and heard Bush tell Casey, quote, "If he, Reagan, does not cooperate with us, we will do to him what we did to the Kennedy brothers." End quote. Before the shooting, it had been planned by George Bush Sr. and Director of Central Intelligence William J. Casey that Reagan would be assassinated because he rejected Vice President George Bush's trade request. The assassination would put Bush in the presidential seat. This would be done to seal a trade deal with China. They concluded the favor by making Randall the patsy when the shooting was not successful. Randall was supposed to shoot Reagan as programmed but did not shoot. You can see more details on this on our websites. When the shooting did not go as planned, those involved had to figure out a way of getting control of the White House and the nuclear codes, along with the keycard Reagan had on him, which was taken by people involved and given to the FBI after they spoke with Bill Gates' father, finding out Reagan had sexually abused him and other teenagers at the White House. The FBI were in contact with George Bush Sr., who planned it was from the beginning and agreed to hold the nuclear codes and key card until Reagan handed control over to Bush Sr. Hayne was forced to resign but suffered no punishment once Bush had control. Bill Gates' father, who was an attorney, must have been working with Bush Sr. in some way for them to keep everything quiet and get the trade agreement changed to allow Microsoft to manufacture in China. Gates never followed through on his 25% promise to Randall. Gates pulled the scam on Ellen afterwards, telling Ellen they needed more money and had to get it from Randall. In reality, Gates gave Randall $160,000 from the money Randall had already given him, and said if Paul would give control of all business decisions to Randall and Bill, he would give $160,000 more. What Randall did not realize at the time was Bill also changed the shares they would receive through this contract. Gates planned on framing Randall and getting the contract back so he would get Randall's share of the company and however much more he added to the new contract, in order to get more out of Allen. Allen later found out after one of Randall's court trials that Gates had scammed him. Allen publicly stated he found out Gates had tried to scam shares from him on more than one occasion. Randall's entire family and all of his friends ended up getting the settlement money from Randall by drugging him, having him sign papers that released the check, which his brother went and got posing as Randall. They split the money between them and framed Randall to try and keep him quiet. This was all done with the help of the FBI and all the law enforcement agencies in Washington state. All of these agencies had taken bribe money at one time or another, so they took part in destroying Randall to keep their dirty crimes a secret by framing him for crimes he did not commit, as well as drugging him up and using his programming to destroy his character. This is unfortunately how MK victims are used. They are used to make deals, used for sex, used for all else. And they are the perfect tool to the elite, because to them, the victim means nothing, a robot to carry out orders, and be disposed of and discredited whenever it is needed. It is a miracle Randall has been able to hold back his anger after all that has been done to him and keep from delivering justice to those involved on his own. But what can one man do to save others in this system? We have tried to bring awareness to this through our Stop Justice and Out Purge. However, without physical action, all of this will continue, unchecked, unstopped. We hope you will help Randall while we still can. His time is short. Exposing this information may cause those in power to go after Randall, and you are the only ones who can bring awareness to Randall and his plight. Those involved in what was done to Randall have sworn to make sure he lives in poverty, and worse, for exposing to the courts what he did. Randall has no income at this time of regaining his memories of the trauma he was put through, and will not be able to continue to heal and expose what he knows without our support. We have placed a link to Randall's PayPal account as well as a link to a GoFundMe account, so he may relocate to a safer environment to continue exposing the elitists and their crimes against humanity. Only with your help can we expect more.